Hey guys, hope you're all doing awesome today. I thought I would give the 31 Days of Tarot a try. I know I'm super late with this one, over a year late, but I wasn't on YouTube when it was done, and I think they're all really awesome, and I watch them all the time. So I thought I would give it a go. She has another one that she did for this year, um, and I'll put the link to her website where it's at in the description in her YouTube channel too. So I figured I'll do like the first 5 questions today. What was your first introduction to tarot that made an impact? So for me, it started really young. I know I look white, but I'm Mexican, and my grandma would go to a witch doctor. She still does. I tell everybody she's Catholic about 5 days out of the week. So she, for every issue, anything, would go get her cards read, go to a witch doctor, get cleanses, have candles made for her, all these things. It was always very normal. They would always bring these witch doctors, which is what they call them, to their bar business. We had altars for money. We had little spiritual mojo bags in the register and oils that were specially made for us to continue to get money. We had statues. They were more Catholic, but she would get more Catholic statues. But where we would go was a big mixture, a big melting pot of a lot of different things. And it's in Little Village here in Chicago, which is um, predominantly Mexican. And yeah, even when I go there, they know me now, but like I always stand out. So I don't like to go because I don't really like the attention. Like, oh, you're Mexican, you speak Spanish. Yeah, like my whole life. I felt like at one point I had to come out of the closet to people. Like, even my boyfriend, who I've been with for 3 years, they've never met my family, so they didn't know how Mexican I am because I look so white, and it's just is what it is. But anyways, so she would go to witch doctors when I was younger, and I started getting a lot of anxiety, especially in high school. And it's off and on. I've learned to like correct it with meditation and things of that nature. But she took me to witch doctors who had altars for La Santa Muerte, and that's always been around. And I've come to realize this year, like, that's never been gone. It's always been around. I just didn't really like put an arrow on it or like, put it together until recently. So she would go get her cards read, and I just thought it was the coolest shit ever. I would never tell her that. And I was so young when they started taking me. I was like 7. I would look at everything. And when I was younger, they would let me like sit in on the readings, and I'm like, what is it? How do you know? Like, how do you know these things? Because my grandma was just always so like a believer, always such a believer. And, my grandma's word is law, always. And so seeing how it affected her, I'm like, well, if she thinks it's so cool, it's got to be right, So that's how I was introduced to tarot and my spirituality in general. It's always been around since I was young. Like, we have, most people wouldn't notice it's an altar, but it is for my great grandparents who passed away. There's always flowers in a vase with them. There's always chocolates. My aunt, she has a shrine, La Virgen de Guadalupe, with all of her deceased husband, my uncle, my grandpa's photo, a cousin that was killed in Mexico, like with all together with flowers, a child, the same thing. So like it's always been a thing. What was your first tarot deck? Mine was the Rider-Waite Smith. Was it a gift? Did you buy it for yourself? And do you still have it? Actually, it was a birthday gift, but I was there with my biological mother, who didn't really know what it was. And she was like, well, what do you want? And our thing would always be to go to the bookstore, go to the library together, and just spend the day reading all these things. And I really wanted the Rider-Waite-Smith, and this is Borders again. So for my birthday, she bought it for me thinking it was like a card game. And then later realized like it's actually a very spiritual thing. And even then, I was in middle school, going into high school, and I didn't have any of the cards memorized, nor did I take that seriously then. I would just continue looking in the book for the meanings, and I did everybody's reading that I knew, and it always came out right, so I always had a connection to the deck. But it wasn't until about 2 years ago when I started getting back into my spirituality and had a spiritual awakening that I was reconnected with the deck that I purchased myself. So that's that. It was a gift, but it wasn't like she went and gave it to me because she knew I'd love it. Like, we were at the store and I wanted it. It was my birthday, so that's how that happened. Are you a tarot deck collector, hoarder, or exclusive Betty? How do you use these decks in your readings? Multiple decks in one reading, or just all in one way? Does it aid your practice? Okay. So I would love to be a major collector. I now only have about, about 8 tarot decks. I do interchange them. And there's a couple on my wish list. Like the Bohemian Gothic is one that's on my wish list. But I'm not like I have to have all the tarot decks. I have to have a connection, obviously, with them for me to want them. How do you use these decks in your readings? Well, it depends. Like my Joseph Fargo deck for the Gothic tarot, I've noticed I personally love, and it's very, very direct, very short, and straight to the point. So I go off of the energy that I feel with the deck. The Witch's Tarot, I love, because I can use that with anybody. You know, they don't know it's a witch's deck. They don't understand that. They don't see, because it's so, like, subtle, and even it's not as witchy as you would think visually. It's more the meanings that can correspond with that part of me that can resonate more. You can tell more with that, but it depends. It depends. I have the Goddess deck I use usually for girls who are younger. The Goddess Tarot by Chris, don't know how to pronounce her last name. I usually use that for girls that are around 18, 19 to like their early 20s. I just feel like it's like a very soft and gentle way to bring them some messages and not scare them with images. And my go-to oracle is the Madame Fortuna's oracle. I do use oracles with every reading. Sometimes I'll shuffle them right after I shuffle the cards, and just in case there's a question that comes up or for whatever reason, I'll pull one or put one in place or with a card if I need more information, or sometimes I'll add it onto the significator to kind of give me a backstory, and then I'll also add one at the end for advice. And something that I've done recently is runes before to kind of give me an idea of what is going to be the energy for this reading. And then that will tell me a lot as to, like, is this more of a love reading? Do I have to be, very empathetic? Do I have to use softer imagery? Like, things like that. Multiple decks in one reading, tarot and oracle, yes. But 2 tarot decks, I have not had the need to do so yet. I have a couple spreads that I can use 2 for with the 2 options, but since the spread, I do have some spreads that are two different people, two different options, and things like that. And I've always thought about using one deck for one, even if it's only a 7 card spread for one side, or 8 spread for one deck. Can't talk. Damn. One deck for one person and the other deck for another, and then using like the oracle to kind of see how they can meet in the middle. I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet. I do have a couple spreads ready to do. I just feel like I have to wait for more of a bigger question, I guess, because most of the questions I'm getting are not. I guess I could try. I'll try next time. We'll see how it goes. Does it aid your practice? Yeah, it does. It aids a lot using Oracle with tarot, because you can always sum everything up and let them leave with good advice, or you can get a clear visual on the energy you're about to work with, the person you're about to work with, the situation, what's it about, like, and they don't have to know. They won't have to know what that card is. It's just kind of going to tell me what's going on. So it does aid a lot. What would your favorite tarot deck if you had to pick? What would be your favorite tarot deck if you had to pick? My main one, my main squeeze right now. I have 3 cards out from my altar, but it's a deck that I got from Mexico. It's called Tarot de la Santa Muerte, and it's all in Spanish. This has my heart. This is what I use for everything. If you're not in front of me and if you want like a typed out reading, this is what I enjoy using. I love, love, love this deck. I'm so connected with her. I have an altar for her, so, and a lot of workings that I do with tarot or, tarot, candle magic, I will use this deck to let it continue going on the altar with her. I'll show you a couple. And I can read Spanish. I can't write Spanish for shit, but I can read it perfectly. Nudity. But yes. It just reminds me of growing up. That I use for everything, for every question, for every daily poll. I've had these out all day, and I've been getting them since Thursday, the same card. So, and this deck has also inspired workings too, like any ideas that I have for either a candle or whatever I'm thinking about, I'll write it down, and it's like these inspire it. These really give me a lot of energy on what to focus on. If I want to see energetically where I'm at, I pull these cards out. Like, look at this. This is what I pulled today. The Ace of Wands. Look how much red energy is coming out. I'm an Aries, and this is a lot of fiery, passionate, enthusiastic energy. And that's all I had today, and that's what I still have. And I've been working on my website. I've been doing a lot that is very fulfilling emotionally, and my artistic side is getting, squeezed out. So I can relate to it on that level. It speaks to me more than any other deck. What's the other 3 faves for those of us who have a tarot addiction problem? Well, I guess I'll choose 3. Obviously, this is my number 1, my go-to babe. The Witch's Tarot, I guess. The Goddess deck. I mean, those are the 3 I'm using. I had other tarot decks that I swapped out for a couple oracles recently. But these are the ones that I've been interchanging and using a lot. And then the Joseph Fargo. Yeah. I would say the Witches and Joseph Fargo's The Gothic Tarot are my other two that I have right now, like, out on the table for clients, because even, like, when I'm getting men coming in, they go to this deck, the Gothic Tarot, so I have to have it out. Okay. What tarot decks are you looking forward to getting to know better into? Well, this says 2016, but right now it is June 2nd, 2017. So what am I looking forward to getting to know the rest of this year? More of connecting with this deck, I guess. I have been connected very deeply with it already. So probably just continuing my meditation journey with her. The Bohemian Gothic is probably going to be the next on my list, or the Druid Tarot, Druid Craft Tarot. I'm not sure. I'm enjoying this one too much. And I have been. Like, I don't really have a need for more yet. I know when the fall comes, I'm definitely going to want the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. Or a more Samhain deck. I know the Joseph Fargo's deck is there, but like, more of a variety, I guess. I would want more, because that's naturally what I'm drawn to. But I'm drawn to death, and I'm drawn to color. So this speaks to all of me, you know. Yeah. Let's see. Tell me about the time you gave your first tarot reading, if I can remember. My first professional, or my first, like, in general, that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Because if it's that one, I did it at my high school in the library, because I was that kid that would hang out in the library after school. And it was to someone that I don't even talk to, and I think I remember his name, but it was about a girl he liked, obviously, and a guy she was dating, and, you know, if he's gonna get a chance. And I remember it, like, I didn't even know the girl he was asking about, and he just, like, got really upset, but, like, gave me a really big hug and was like, I really needed that. And that's when I realized, like, I don't even realize what I'm saying to these people, but it resonates with them because it's what's going on in their life. So you don't really know what words you use or what you say, where is going to hit an emotional thing. So I wish I would have just kept with tarot then, because I would have been, like, badass by now, but had to take a couple of years off, I guess. So I do remember the library, and it went really good, and I was really surprised, but that was probably my first, like, real one that I did the big spread. But all I did was, like, go through each card, say, okay, so this is saying it's going to be your past, like, and then I would read the definition. So it wasn't like a reading. It was just like, I'm still fucking around with the cards, you know. How long have you been reading the tarot for, and do you feel you will ever stop? Now I'm going on 3.5 years. A little over 3.5 years. I don't think I'm ever going to stop. Ever. It's my daily. Like, I'm already... This journal I got 2 months ago, and I'm more than halfway full. More than halfway. So, I pull on a daily. I do readings all the time. Even if I'm not doing it for clients, I have started to do fairs. I don't really love fairs though. I don't like the whole minutes bullshit. Like, you know, because what if, I don't like it for a lot of reasons. So, no, I don't like the fair shit. But, I was thinking about this summer, like getting a couple of readers that I know together and going to a park and offering readings there where it's not a time constraint, you know? So tarot is definitely a part of my life forever because I use it in my spirituality. I use it for workings, which I usually do once a week at least. Usually once a week or once every 2 weeks. Because, especially for new moon, full moon. I use it for full moon, new moon. I use it for things going on in my family's life. I sometimes snoop, but not to be like a nosy body, to be like, what the fuck is going on? And to make sure, like, doesn't matter, I shouldn't be saying this because people have like different views on snooping. Yeah, I don't see this slowing down ever. If anything, the more you just keep studying and learning and the more your spirituality grows, the more you want to learn, the more avenues you want to go down, the more things you want to have a specialty for, like a specialty reading, a specialty spread, a specialty type of thing that you do, and I kind of just want to learn a little bit of everything. So, yeah. What were the first 3 tarot spreads that you learned? Well, obviously the Celtic Cross comes in like every fucking little white book. So the Celtic Cross, past, present, future. What was the other one? They're probably the horseshoe, or the lucky 7, or the 7 spread, or yeah, the horseshoe. What would you say your favorite tarot card right now is? Because things can change. And why? Is it the artwork, the meaning, or both? Okay, let's look. I do have one. So in this deck, there are 3 world cards, and they have 3 different meanings for the world. They're all labeled 21, and I keep them all in the deck because they have different meanings, so I don't have to pick one. So when they want to come up and say whatever they gotta say, I'll let them. Okay. So technically, it would be the world and the wheel for me at the moment. My card of the year, my theme of the year is a strength card. I'll just go through them all and just... Maybe I can't pick one. Maybe I have to show you all 3 of them. If it will ever come out of the deck. If it's... Oh my god. Where did it go? Sorry guys, I'm trying. And it's such a badass card too, and it's the one, okay, here we go. So in this deck, there's 3 world cards, okay? So this is a regular one. And you always see her holding the globe. So here she's just holding a bigger globe. But my favorite is this one, where you can see the underworld and the skeletons kind of just chilling there, hanging back, like dancing, living up life, like it just kind of being more of a joyful place than you would imagine. And this is talking about like the other worlds, and then this world card is talking about other gods, other deities. So spiritually, I can connect with what it's, trying to tell me. So right now, this world card is my favorite. The one, did you hear that? I heard something upstairs. But the one card that is connecting with me the most is the wheel card. Because it shows someone at the top, someone helping, trying to make sure that they don't fall, taking care of them, and then the other one just jumping into flames. Right now I'm this person in my life. And I really like this card because it can connect with you no matter where you're at. And I love that she's just there turning it and cranking it, and where you end up, and it's your choice where you end up. I like that a lot. But my card of the year is the Strength card, and I love it. Again, perfect boobs. Like, if I get the cash to get a boob job, which even if I did, I probably wouldn't. I would chicken out. I would take these fucking pictures to show them. So, those are my favorite cards. I think I'll cut it there. That way I don't bore you guys. Maybe next time I'll probably be a little bit more prepared than just going through everything. But this was cool. This was fun. I hope you guys liked it. And, you know, I feel like I've seen everybody, so I'm sure people aren't even, like, into it anymore, but I'm having fun with it, and it's pretty cool. So, thanks for watching. Bye.